what is up, my sweet little garbanzo beans? Welcome for all my little baby beans who have got their south node in lovely Libra. As a little side note, like right here, you can't see, but my cat is laying on the little set right here. So if he pops up, I may have to pause the recording for a sec, or he might just be part of the action. Oh, he's getting up now. Bye, buddy. Okay, there he goes. What a good boy. Okie dokie. So, never mind that. He's like, okay, fine, I'll go. So, hi, welcome for all of my little baby beans who have their South Node in Libra to your South Node past life energy reading. So, for those of you who might not know, your South Node in your natal chart is considered an energy that you've already mastered. And as a side note, I want to mention really briefly a couple things. One of which is if you're not sure what your South Node is, I put a link to a site in the description box where you can go to generate a full natal chart report for free. I'm not sponsored by the site nor affiliated with them. I just like it. So figured I would leave that there for y'all in case you weren't sure or you wanted to double check or check out the rest of your natal chart, what have you. I also do offer in-depth natal chart readings, the link for which is also in the description box down below, in addition to my Etsy shop link and other content page links. So feel free to check that out, where we really dive into, everything, your house placements, your planetary placements, your interplanetary aspects, how major astrological events of the year might impact you directly, etc. So I had another note and it totally flew out of my brain space. Okay, that's fine. It'll come back when it's ready. Yes, so your South Node is considered the energy that you've already mastered, and this is why many people regard your South Node to kind of indicate a past life that you have had. I want to make a note. Oh, that was my other point. So I want to make a note that this is just talking about South Node in Libra. It's going to be different for everybody depending on what house your South Node is in and what, if there are any other, planetary placements in that house or any other interplanetary aspects impacting your South Node. So that's just a little something I wanted to throw out there. Anyway, so yes, your South Node is the energy that you've mastered, as I've already said 3 times. I'm so sorry. And because of this, a lot of people feel that this is the greatest indicator of your past life energy. It is not the only indicator in your chart about past life energy, and I want to also kind of specify that the past life that's kind of going to come through in this reading isn't necessarily your only past life, and it's also not necessarily your most impactful or prominent. This is just the past life energy that's most impacting you in this life. And so for those who are also unaware, this is, like I said, because this is the energy you've already mastered, you already know how to do this. This often can be an energy that you might default to, in times of trouble or trial or, stress. And because of this, your North Node is always going to be oppositional to your South Node, right? So this, if you have your South Node in Libra, this will put your North Node in Aries. And the goal here is to try to detach from this, comfort zone of your South Node energy and move toward your North Node with the intention of bringing greater balance into your life. So yeah, that's kind of what your South Node is there for. So I have this lovely card to represent you Libra South Node babies. And so we have Libra, which is the idealist. And it says harmonious, cooperative, balanced, socially aware, artistic, people-pleasing, fair, idealistic, aesthetic, choosy, aspirational, geometric, graceful, considerate, obliging, indecisive, judgmental, and flattering. So something that I was picking up on, and there's a lot of thematic content in here that we kind of talk about, but the biggest thing I was picking up on for this reading was because Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus can, in addition to talking about, beauty, grace, charm, sensuality, Venus can really talk about creativity and your artistic endeavors. Libra is traditionally rules the 7th house. This is the house of partnership, right? And so something that I'm kind of feeling from this past life energy is that I feel as if there is this tendency to co-create, and I feel that in a past life, this led to not getting your fair, like your due credit, essentially, right? Because I was really drawn to people pleasing right here. And so I kind of got the feeling that this in a past life has led to really troublesome amounts of people pleasing, right? And it's because, especially too, this puts your north node in Aries. Aries is traditionally rules the first house, and is usually ruled by Mars. So we have Venus and Mars. We have divine feminine, divine masculine. But this will put your north node in Aries, which is the house of, traditionally rules the house, the first house, which is the house of the self, the physical body. This is being, if you think about like kind of, if each planetary placement kind of gets a verb, Venus is known for harmonizing. Venus is driven to harmonize. Mars is just kind of like driven to act, driven to move forward, driven to take action, right? And so this is usually somebody who's very independent, who is a self-starter, who is kind of a trailblazer, somebody who might be quick to act. Mars and Aries energy is also known for being a little bit hot-headed. So with your north node in Aries, and your south node in Libra, what I'm feeling is this, you might be somebody who's very creative, even if you don't identify like that. You might be somebody who's like very artistic or has a really good sense of style or a good eye for design. But I feel like in general, you're somebody who is like a really good, how do I describe this? It's like, it's kind of like creative meets creative problem solver. So, right, like I feel like in general, you see how things fit together, both literally and figuratively. It's all about, like, again, harmonizing, whether this is artistically or interpersonally. But because this is your south node, this kind of can mean that you've got a good grasp on this, and this can kind of end up, again, being a default to the point where it throws you out of balance. So this group might feel this energy particularly strongly because Libra is so oriented in being well balanced, that this might, when you kind of are defaulting to this south node energy, this might impact you even more strongly because it's in Libra. So again, this is really what I'm feeling for this group, is that there may have been something creative in particular in this past life that's coming through, or they're like a very important partnership, because again, Libra rules partnerships, where I feel as if maybe you struggled to speak up for yourself, you struggled to kind of like take your place, right? It's like your ideas are being used, you created something and somebody else took credit, maybe because harmonizing is so important and cooperation so important, maybe you would always take on more than your share, again with that people pleasing kind of aspect here. There's something about not getting your full credit and taking on other people's responsibility. Excuse me. Or it's something else I'm kind of picking up on is, because this is kind of looking almost like a portal to me, there may have been this important shift in this past life where it was like this, this invitation to walk through this portal and take up this more like almost Aries energy of this leadership quality. I feel like you had an idea that you were either sitting on or you were kind of giving it away piecemeal to other people. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And then in this life, this is why your north node is in Aries, because it's really encouraging you to really take action on your ideas, to really value your own personal well-being and put, appropriately value your own creations, your own abilities, your own skills, your own ideas to the point where you will take action for your own ideas instead of just taking action to support other people. So that's kind of what I'm picking up on, but let us pull you a past life card to kind of dig a little bit deeper. And I will say all my decks are going to be linked in the description box down below, so I don't really have a good follow-up. You should check them out. They're awesome. Bam. Okay, let me pull a card before I mess everything up. It's this one, you guys. Okie dokie. So, you guys got... Okay, medicine man or woman. All right. So, in this past life, you may have been Native American or had very prominent Native American heritage. But in general, I feel like this is something where you're a natural healer. And I do feel like, again, this is something you carry with you into this life. This is like, I feel like helping to, again, restore like balance for other people is really what I'm picking up on. And I know this is a weird association, but because we have a dream catcher here, I almost was kind of picking up on like, this is this energy of like not only bringing healing to other people, but healing to other people's dreams. So you may have really motivated people to take action toward their dreams. You may have really motivated people to take action toward their dreams, or been very good at like collaborating, like connecting somebody to the right person or situation in order for their ideas, their dreams to flourish. And I know that's not the traditional meaning of this card, but this is just what I'm kind of picking up intuitively. So again, definitely a very healing, harmonizing, equalizing energy is what I'm picking up. So let me pull you guys a numerology guidance card, and I want to dig a little deeper. Sorry, I'm trying to shuffle on camera and I'm super bad at it. I pre-shuffled all the decks before I film, just so I know they're well. Yeah, okay. All right. So you guys got parenting. This is card 63 in case you can't see, which would reduce to a 9. And it's interesting because we have blue and yellow represented, so this is very much like throat chakra and this thing. What is this, you guys? Solar plexus chakra. There we go. Knew I'd get there eventually. So again, this is like very empowered, divine masculine energy. And to me, this is really talking about this need. It's interesting. Look at, we have blue and yellow. I just noticed that. I mean, I know there's also purple going on over here, but we have a couple of colors and those happen to be it. Nice. So yeah, with the parenting card coming out, I feel as if this may have come from in this past life that's coming through. You may have had to really take up a parental role, right? Because especially when I think about medicine man or medicine woman, it's like not only a healer kind of position, but it's a position of leadership in its own right and guiding others, right? So I feel as if in this past life, you may have had to take on this really parentified role, or this role of being like a caretaker, or again, it's not even just a caretaker, because I kind of was picking up on that with the South Node and Cancer reading, and it's similar, but it's a little different. And to me, the big difference is I feel like in this past life, not only did you help kind of heal people, I feel like this is like a dualistic thing. Like not only did you help heal people physically, but I also feel like this is, spiritually, emotionally, mentally as well. And part of how this came across is really helping to support people. And I feel like this is supporting people who didn't have a lot of support growing up, right? So maybe you were this nurturer for people who had never really had a mother. Maybe you were kind of like somebody who was, motivating people or helping to teach them important skills, right? Kind of giving this almost like fathering role, this parental role to people who didn't have that kind of structure, that father figure. Because I feel like, again, it's like this harmonizing. I feel like whatever was missing from, I'm going to turn that, sorry, I didn't realize there's a glare. Like whatever is missing from people's lives is what you helped to bring to the table. And I do feel like sometimes this is at the expense of yourself and your own ideas. So you may have spent so much time in this past life helping other people that you never really got to go after a dream of your own. But with all the blue here, I feel like this is to pursue your own truths. And I do get the feeling that that's going to look really different to each and every one of you, because I was trying to tune in and see like, what does that mean? And I'm not really getting anything concrete. So this is likely something that's going to be different to each and every one of you. But we have a 9 here, meaning that this cycle is wrapping itself up or needs to wrap up and come to a close. So let me pull you guys some tarot and get a feel for what's going on. This is the Herbcrafter's tarot, by the way, and it is absolutely freaking stunning. That's the official term. That's the spiritual term. It's freaking stunning. I highly recommend it. Also linked in the description box down below. Ooh, yeez Louise. Okay. Interestingly enough, so this one didn't come out, but I wanted to look at it before I put the deck down, and it was the Tower. So I feel like a lot of this happened, like you helped heal people after these Tower moments, in these moments of upheaval, uncertainty, etc. So that's a little side note. And again, when people really needed this almost like parental kind of figure in their lives. So let's see what you got. Okay, you got the Hierophant reversed, which is interesting because this is Taurus energy, and Taurus is also ruled by Venus, as is Libra. You got The Wheel of Fortune reverse. Okay. I think I see what's going on here. But let's look at what else we got. And yeah, the Eight of Cups. Okay. So what I'm kind of seeing here, let me just get this all set. First of all, you have 2 major arcana here. What I'm kind of picking up is that, again, I feel like in people's lives, you really helped when people with the Hierophant reverse, you know, the Hierophant's all about tradition, it's about order, it can be about structure, it can be about spiritual lessons. And because I felt called to look at the Tower, and that's, you know, or look at the card that was the Tower, what I feel like this is talking about is that you were really instrumental in coming into people's lives when things were falling apart, when all sense of order, structure, tradition had gone out the window. And especially with the Wheel of Fortune reverse too, you know, this is a 10. 10s are all about the completion of a cycle in the tarot. So I feel like you came in to help people, both when, you know, things were kind of falling apart and where, you know, things were just like luck was not on their side. Things were just not going well for them. And with the Hierophant reverse too, this is like there's a spiritual lesson in this process. And I feel like you came in to help heal people and support them through their spiritual learning. Oh, I had another point and it just totally fell out of my head. That's okay. It'll come back when it's ready. But yeah, and especially too because we have the Eight of Cups. So something I could see this being one of 2 things. One is I feel like you help people potentially walk away from what's no longer serving them. But the other thing is that I feel like in order to do this, like this feels like this was a spiritual calling that you innately connected with. In order to do this, I feel like you had to walk away from something very established. And I say that because we have the moon right here with all the water, and this feels like, I don't know if you guys can see actually, hang on, yeah, right here. So this feels like something where you had to leave again, something that was very established. And with the Hierophant reverse, I could see that as well. This might mean turning down like a traditional route of like marriage and family. You know, because this feels like what I'm hearing is with heavy heart, and especially with the Wheel of Fortune reversed as well too. You may have kind of felt like things were just kind of not on your side, but with the moon and all the water here, I feel like intuitively and emotionally, you knew where you had to go. You knew what you had to do, and so you followed, you followed this path of really helping to support others. And I feel like you did what you had to do. It's not like I'm not sensing like a lot of like regret over the decision, but I feel like you've gotten so used to putting yourself on the back burner in order to help facilitate this, like almost again, this like parental healing role for other people, that you've kind of become used to it to the point where that's your default, and to the point where it's following you into this life. So again, you may find that in this life you struggle to take action on your ideas. Maybe you kind of don't feel like like me, it was one of those things, like maybe you don't feel like you're a creative person, or like your ideas can compete with other people's ideas. This just feels like, because especially with parenting here too, you know, as a parent, you have to, your focus is on your kids, or, you know, the person you're parenting, your focus is on the person you're trying to help, right? And you're supporting them through their growth, and more often than not, you know, it can't be about you, it's about them. And that's, you know, that can be part of being a parent. And so this kind of feels like this is the role that you took up for people who really needed you. Like you came into people's lives in a moment when they were down on their luck, when everything was falling apart. And something else I could see too with these, just the way these are lined up, is that this may have actually cost you a marriage. And this may have been, whether this is somebody where, you know, you ended up never finding anyone that you wanted to settle down with, or somebody actively, like, you got divorced from somebody. This may have cost you a marriage in a past life, and again, leaving with heavy heart is what I'm hearing. But with the moon and the water here, this is to follow your spiritual calling. So I want to play you guys some more and see what's going on. Yeah, it goes this way. Sometimes I'm not sure. Yeah, that's not it. Okay. Is it like that, or is it like that? No, it's like that. Oh gosh, okay. All right. So, you got the Tower reversed. Okay, there it is. Oh, the Judgment card. And the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. Interesting. So you have 2 8s. I thought that's really interesting, is that you have, I just noticed 2 major arcanas and an 8. 2 major arcanas and an 8. So the number 8 may be very significant to you in this life, or it may have been in this past life. But what I'm seeing here, we have the Tower reversed. And what I really feel like is this, because we have a lot of mushrooms depicted here, and mushrooms feed on detritus matter, this feels like, to me, like there would be unhealthy, unstable things in somebody's life, and this would have either fallen apart, or you met this person right before this was going to fall apart. And either way, I feel like you helped give clarity and insight and facilitate a lot of healing for this person in order for them to make the huge changes that they needed to make in their lives, right? Because we then have the Judgment card, and this is like hearing the calling. This is being at a crossroads. This is like making a huge decision that has the potential to have like long-term impacts. And I feel like you help people navigate this kind of fork in the road in their lives, and to do so with balance and to strive toward the kind of the most even, harmonious path possible. And with the 8 of Pentacles here too, I feel like you really helped, A, this may have been your literal part of your literal job, but B, I feel like you were very diligent in this, and C, I feel like you help people do the hard work, right? This is when you're like at something so long, you're like really honing your craft, you spend so much time on it, you kind of lose track of things. You're just very, very invested in it. And I want to say too, because this card depicts turmeric, which is a powerful anti-inflammatory, I feel like wherever, and also too because we have the Tower come out twice, both upright and then reversed, I feel like wherever there was a lot of difficulty, a lot of almost like emotional, spiritual, energetic inflammation, this is where your work was. It was in helping to kind of helping to kind of ease that or solve that, or bring kind of like healing into this situation. So again too, you could have also been somebody who's always looking for, always looking at the bright side, always trying to find harmony in a situation. So when people came to you with these problems, with this upheaval, with these, these Tower moments, I feel like you helped them navigate this very difficult time in their lives. And do so with the most calming effect possible. Now, in this life, this may become a problem where, if this is your default, where you're always looking to maintain balance, harmony, and placidity, which is not a bad thing, this may be difficult again because you may have your own ideas, your own things you want to move toward, your own goals, or, really believing in whatever it is that you personally want to pursue. And this may be something where, it's very, very difficult for you to have that confidence moving forward, right? You might struggle with when you do things for yourself and they're just for you and not for somebody else. You might struggle with feeling selfish a lot of the time. You might struggle with, feeling out of balance, essentially. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards of advice, and then we're going to kind of talk about those. I'm curious to see, because most of the time this is just talking kind of about what your past life was like, and I want to kind of see how this is playing out now and what Spirit really wants you to know and to focus on. It's this one. That's why. I kind of want to look at this one too. So you guys get 3. Most people have been getting 2. Yeah. And I want to mention, we have the World at the bottom. So this cycle is drawing to a close because it's time for you to experience new energy. This one needs to go like this though. Okay. So you guys got, the 9 of Pentacles. We love it. The 9 of Wands reversed. Okay. And then, okay, perfect. The 4 of Swords. It's interesting, when I was shuffling earlier, the 4 of Swords ended up upright at the bottom of the deck. So I think it's really interesting to see that now. So this is actually a pretty straightforward message, kind of what we're talking about. The Nine of Wands is really about, being like, this is the Wounded Warrior card traditionally in the traditional tarot. And it's about kind of being exhausted and tired, but persevering and not throwing in the towel. And because it's reversed with the Nine of Pentacles, so again, you have a 9, 9, and a 9. So this is all about wrapping up this cycle. But because we have these two here, coupled with the Nine of Pentacles, this is really about valuing yourself. This is about being independent, having immaculate self-worth. It's so funny because this is usually kind of like jokingly called the mini Empress. And the Empress is Venus energy, so the Empress represents Libra and Taurus in the tarot. And so what I'm kind of seeing here is that there's this need with the Nine of Wands reversed. I feel like normally, again, when this is upright, this is saying, like, don't give up. I feel like there is this need to... I kind of feel like there's this, like, weird dualistic need of to, like, give up... I don't know, to let this go, but really what this is telling me is to fight for yourself, right? Because again, this is very much a very independent card. This is somebody who knows their worth and who doesn't settle for a single thing less, and as a result, they're incredibly abundant in all areas of life, right? And so coupled with the Four of Swords reversed, this is when it's upright, this is talking about non-action, this is talking about meditation, rest, contemplation. I feel like this is really telling you in this situation not to give up, but to take action, right? To because again, the Wounded Warrior card, he's hurt, but he still goes for it because he's determined as hell. And I feel like this is kind of letting you know to be equally, like similarly determined for yourself, right? To be determined enough to take action towards your own ideas, toward your own abundance. And with the lavender being the herb associated with the Four of Swords, I feel like this will likely cause, especially with that people-pleasing sort of highlighted, this might cause a lot of anxiety initially, but this is something that's really going to lead to a lot of abundance, and I feel like a lot of a lot more like health, because apples always make me think of health. So like being a lot more like stable and grounded and healthy within yourself, especially like energetically and like mentally and spiritually with these two cards right here. So I hope this has been helpful. If you're interested in a personal reading on the subject, please DM me because I'm happy to do custom readings, or feel free to leave it in the comments if you'd like to see me add this to my shop. It's just been an honor and a delight to get to read for you guys. I hope this has been helpful, and I'm wishing you all the best and the most beautiful things that life has to offer. Take care, love bugs. Bye.